Do you ever get that feeling in the woods? That sense that you're not alone, even when the only sound is the wind in the trees? Tonight, we're diving deep into that feeling. We're going to explore 3 chilling tales, each set in the heart of the same dark forest. A hunter who hears his own footsteps behind him. 2 friends who seek shelter in a place they should have avoided. And a couple whose romantic getaway turns into a nightmare. These aren't just separate stories. They're threads in a larger, more terrifying tapestry, all woven together by the ancient presence that calls these woods home. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Our first story follows a seasoned hunter named Marcus. He knew these woods like the back of his hand, or so he thought. One crisp autumn afternoon, tracking a deer, he noticed something odd. A sound, faint at first, but unmistakable. The crunch of leaves underfoot. But it wasn't the deer. It was a footstep, perfectly in sync with his own. He stopped, and the sound stopped. He took a cautious step forward, and a second step echoed his. A cold dread crept up his spine. He started to walk faster, and the phantom steps matched his pace. He broke into a run, heart pounding, branches whipping at his face. The footsteps behind him ran to a perfect, terrifying mirror of his own desperate flight. He never saw what was following him, but he knew something was wearing his own rhythm, stealing his own sound, and it was getting closer with every step. Next, we meet Liam and Chloe, 2 friends who decided to hike a notoriously difficult trail in that very same forest. As dusk fell faster than they expected, a storm rolled in. Soaked and shivering, they spotted a structure in the distance, an old, dilapidated fire lookout tower. It looked abandoned, but it was shelter. They forced the door open and climbed the creaky stairs. Inside, it was dusty and filled with an eerie silence. They found an old logbook on a table. The last entry was dated years ago, written in a shaky hand. Each spoke of a watcher in the woods, a thing that mimicked sounds and hunted by rhythm. It described footsteps that echoed your own. A chill ran down Liam's spine as he read the final words. It knows our pace. It's climbing the stairs. Don't let it in. Just then, from the bottom of the tower, they heard a slow, deliberate footstep on the first stair. Then another. Someone, or something, was climbing up to meet them. Our final story centers on a couple, Ben and Sarah, who rented a secluded cabin for a romantic weekend. It was the perfect escape, nestled deep within those same woods. The first night was blissful. The second night, however, was different. As they lay in bed, they heard a soft tapping on the outside wall. Tap, tap. Tap. Ben went to the window. They dismissed it as a branch, but then it came again, this time on a different wall. Tap, tap, tap. A little louder. They checked all the windows, locked the doors, their unease growing. The tapping became a rhythmic knocking, moving around the cabin, cycling them. It was a pattern, deliberate and intelligent. They huddled together, listening as the knocks grew into heavy, insistent pounding. It wasn't a branch. It wasn't an animal. It was something outside, patiently, rhythmically, trying to get in. So, what connects these 3 terrifying encounters? A hunter stalked by his own echo. Hikers trapped by a climber they can't see. A couple besieged by a phantom knocker. It's the rhythm. The entity in these woods, this ancient watcher, doesn't just hunt you, it learns you. It mimics your pace, your pattern, your very presence. Marcus wasn't being followed by a creature. He was being mirrored by it. A sonic doppelganger, heralding his doom. The thing climbing the tower wasn't just any monster. It was the same entity, now using the rhythm it learned from the logbook's previous victim, or perhaps even from Marcus's desperate flight through the forest and the knocking on the cabin. That was the entity again, no longer needing to follow a person's rhythm, but creating its own. A relentless, terrifying beat, a final, deadly countdown for Ben and Sarah. They're all victims of the same horrifying predator, a creature that turns the very rhythm of life into a funeral drum. The forest holds many secrets, and some are best left undisturbed. These stories serve as a chilling reminder that when you walk among those ancient trees, you are never truly alone. The sounds you hear might not be the wind, and the footsteps behind you might just be your own, worn by something much, much older. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the dark. If you enjoyed these tales, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the unknown. Stay safe out there,